Welcome to our informational series. This is session 5, exploring gig work and flexible work. So today we're going to cover options there as a good way to earn some extra income or supplement income. And it's a great way for people that are in the season time of their life to make some additional opportunities to make money, find things that they like to do, and do it around your own schedule. I'm Jeff McCarthy with the Department of Human Services, Vocational Rehabilitation. What we do is we help people with disabilities find jobs. So I would encourage anyone that has a disability or knows someone that has a disability to check us out. You can go through the website, Tennessee Department of Human Services, Vocational Rehab. There's a phone number in there called the NICE line. They can connect you with counselors, but disabilities are widespread. Spectrum of things. It's not just physical or mental. It can be people that have high blood pressure, diabetes, maybe someone that got injured at work and needs to change their profession, needs additional training, so we can help with that. So we're the best kept secret in the state of Tennessee, and I encourage everybody to take a look and see what services we offer and how we can benefit you. So on our session today, we're going to talk about gig work and flexible work. Many individuals over 50 seek a side hustle for extra income, for flexibility, or passion project. Gig work often offers these opportunities in various industries, from driving to freelance consulting. An overview of options are what we're going to cover today, and do some talk about some of the different options that are out there and available. We do have a reading list that has web resources available. That'll be available here at the Putnam County Library, or you can pick it up at our Vocational Rehabilitation Office at 955 East 20th. A lot of good information on this one because it gives you the websites that do flexible and gig work. So jumping right into it, why would you consider a side hustle? Well, it gives you financial stability, helps to cover expenses, and supplement retirement. If you watched our Social Security presentation that we did at the end of last month, when we had Social Security, they talked about that Social Security covers 60 to 70% of your income when you retire. So it's not 100%, doesn't fill in all the gaps, so you may need some additional money. If you haven't had the opportunity to plan well for retirement through 401ks and other investments, you may find yourself needing that extra income, and this is a good way to do it. It gives you a sense of purpose. So maybe you're not just needing money, but you need something to do to keep yourself active when you're retired. This gives you a sense of purpose to get out there and do something, but do it on your own schedule, do it on your own time frame. It's a good way to career transition. It eases into retirement while staying productive. A lot of people we talk to that are retired don't want to sit around, don't want to just kind of let themselves go. They want to be out doing something. Some volunteer, some want to do things that are in the fields that they worked at. They may volunteer in those areas, or they may look for a side hustle that allows them to do that. And it also helps you keep your skills sharp. When we retire, sometimes we think that the learning process stops. So what we want to do is to keep our minds active and our bodies active, and that's going to help us live longer and better lives without a lot of concern for healthcare. So that's something to keep in mind. So when you're looking at gig work for individuals over 50, one, it gives you a flexible schedule. And I think that's one of the most important things of gig work. You know, you're not doing the 9 to 5 routine, Monday through Fridays, or working weekends. It's basically work when you want to work. So if you're driving for DoorDash, if you want to work today, you log in and you work. If you want to work a couple hours, you work a couple hours. If you want to take the day off, you take the day off. It gives you extra income. So it helps supplement those retirement savings, Social Security, things like that. It gives you skill utilization. So you can use your past skills to make your side gig, or you can learn new skills from the side gig. The other big factor is there's low barrier to entry. So when people are looking for work after 50, you're putting in applications, you're filling out your resumes, you're doing a lot, you know, that may be overwhelming to somebody that's worked a long career and now they're trying to get back into the job market. So gig work or flexible work gives you low barriers to that. So It may be you just need to have a cell phone to do the job, or you don't need a lot of technical skills. Also gives you social engagement, because a lot of the flexible work is doing socially active things like DoorDash, where you would be delivering food to participants at their homes or offices. So you're meeting with those people, so it's keeping you social. But with everything, there are challenges too, and we want to talk about that because we don't want to paint the rosy picture without telling you what some of the challenges of gig work is. One is inconsistent income, so there's no guaranteed paycheck. It's going to be up to you to put in the time and effort to make those earnings. So if you're going to work a couple of days a week and get paid for that, doing your DoorDash or whatever gig you're doing, it's going to be up to you to stay motivated to make those earnings meet what your expectations are. One, lack of benefits. So if you're in a period of time where you're not quite covered under Medicare, you're not have an employer's insurance plan, you don't have a spouse that has insurance, then you're going to have to take that into consideration, because you're self-employed in most gig work, so you're going to be a 1099 employee, and we'll get to that in a little while, but you're going to have to cover your own benefits. So that is something to take into consideration. If benefits are your sole motivator to needing to work, then it may be best to work with somebody to find a true career position in a company or operation that provides benefits. Some gigs require a lot of physical demand, so that's something that you also need to consider. You know, if you're driving, you may have to get in and out of the car a lot. You're going to be driving through traffic. If you're delivering groceries, you're going to be lifting heavy cases of water or soda. So think about what the work is that you're looking at and what your limitations could be. There are also technology barriers. Some jobs require digital skills. So if that's something that's not your strength, we want to think about that, and not saying that you can't gain those skills. We can help you with that. AJC, a lot of areas offer digital training, and one of our upcoming informational series will be on digital training. But you will need to usually use a cell phone, log into apps, and follow the instructions from those apps when you're doing those delivery type of jobs, be it DoorDash or Walmart or Amazon Flex. And you need to be self-motivated. Again, when you're doing gig work, you have to motivate yourself to get out and do that job. There's not going to be anybody telling you, hey, you missed today or you called in sick. It's all on your shoulders to make sure that you're out there participating in what you're needing to do. So even though it does give you that flexibility, if you know that you need to earn an extra $500 a month, you need to make sure you motivate yourself to get out and do that. So what are some popular side hustles for people over 50? And if you just go and Google side hustles, freelance work, side gigs, you're going to find a lot of information out there on the internet. Some of it may be good, some of it may be bad. So you want to be careful about scams, and we're going to talk about that as well. But one of the things is that there are a lot of good gigs out there that do pay, that pay well, pay consistently, and some of those are what we're going to talk about now. So you could do freelancing, which is writing, consulting, being a virtual assistant. A couple of those websites is like Upwork and Fiverr. So you can go on there and you can post your skills. So if you're good at writing, you can say that you're a writer or an editor looking for work, and then people go to those sites that may be looking for someone to offer that service. Maybe they're writing a book and they want somebody to proofread and edit it for them. So you would go on there, you'd say you would do that, you'd give them an hourly rate, they'd reach out to you and you'd make that negotiation to do that work. But it can be as simple as maybe you're good at writing letters or sending birthday cards. People are busy, they don't think about those things, so you would step in and do that work for them. Helping people balance their checkbook or create budgets. So really, when you think about it, that kind of work can be anything that maybe you have expertise in or an interest in that other people aren't as interested in wanting to do for themselves, so you pick up that area of need for them. course, when people think about side hustles, you always think about the driving and delivery services, DoorDash, Uber Eats, things like that. Those are good paying jobs. They do have some pros and cons to them, but they are out there. They're fairly easy to get involved with. They're easy. You don't need a lot of technology. You don't need anything but really a car and the motivation to get out there and do it. Then there's other things like pet sitting or house sitting. That's kind of self-explanatory, but there are people out there that are looking for those kind of skills, especially in larger metropolitan areas. Pet sitting is a big area. People have grown their pets, especially after COVID, and those pets are just like family. So they're looking for someone that will give the attention to their pet as well as they would if they were there. Online selling is another one that a lot of people think about. eBay, Etsy, Poshmark, Amazon. These are good earning type of jobs, but it does take an investment to get started. The investment might be low initially if you're just going through and cleaning out your house and getting rid of things that you have there. That's a good way to start, and then take that money and reinvest into other purchases. You know, maybe you're gonna shop at the thrift shops looking for things you can resell, or go to garage sales looking for things to resell, or numerous amounts of websites that sell return products from Amazon or retailers. So you can look at that. It does take more work. It is more time consuming because you're having to do the listings, do the sale, do the shipping. But it is one that is more lucrative, and people that are in it have been into it a long time and are making good livings at it. You can also do tutoring and teaching. That's another big area of demand right now. That is out there, and that can cover anything from helping tutor students in your local area to teaching English as a second language online to foreign countries. They pay well. Those companies like VIP Kid and Wazon and Undine are great sites to go to do tutoring. So if you're a retired teacher or you've always had that passion to want to help people, those are good side hustles. And then if you're more of a physical type of person, you've been in construction or you like doing construction project, look at the handyman or odd jobs like TaskRabbit or Angie, which are sites that you can post your skills out there, and if somebody's looking for a painter, maybe a wallpaper, somebody to lay floor tile, carpeting, so those gigs are there. Again, think about your accessibility to doing that, what it would require, bending, stooping, and things like that maybe physically you can not do, so that may not be an area you want to look at. But again, those are all great sites to look at. So when we're looking at deep diving into what gig work is, when we look at remote freelancing, we talked about platforms like Upwork, Freelancer, Fiverr. These are places you can go to do writing, customer service, virtual assistants, graphic designs. You need strong communication and time management, be proficient in digital tools. But the earnings are pretty good. You know, the average person on there, depending upon what they're doing and their skills, are charging between $20 to $100 an hour. So there, if you're posting saying, hey, you know, I'm good at being a virtual assistant, you can help someone manage their days virtually. Maybe you're charging $30 an hour. Then we've got the local service jobs, which are like TaskRabbit, Handy, Angie. These are things that could be as simple as house cleaning or minor repairs to gardening, lawn care, landscaping, helping someone pack to move. You got to have physical stamina, basic handyman skills, customer service, obviously a good reputation on that. You should also look at making sure you're bonded or assured in some of those areas in case you get into a situation that a customer is not happy. But your earnings there are $15 to $50 per hour, depending upon the complexity of the job. Pros are, it gives you immediate income. There's not a lot of extensive training. The cons there is that it's going to be physically demanding and it's going to be location dependent. You can do online coaching and education. There we talked about the tutoring through the websites. You can teach English. You can do career coaching, life coaching, do tutoring in certain subjects. Skills there, you do need a certain level of expertise, obviously. You need to have patience, strong communication. So if you're going to tutor in algebra, then obviously you're going to need to know algebra to do that. But English as a second language is one that a lot of countries are looking for. They do that virtually now. So that is something that a lot of people might be able to pick up on. Again, if you go to the website, you'll find resources out there to learn to be a English as a second language teacher. These provide incomes between $20 and $50 an hour. The pros are they're work from home, they're flexible hours, it can be rewarding because you're helping other people succeed. The cons is that you may need to do a lot of preparation for those jobs, work plans, scheduling times, meetings for when you're going to meet with the students. And then obviously there's a lot of competition for those jobs. The reselling e-commerce we talked about, like Amazon, eBay, Etsy, Poshmark, Facebook Marketplace. These are things that you can do. You can sell vintage items, handmade crafts, flipping thrift store finds. You don't need a lot of skills, but you do need to be able to product source, know how to use a camera so that you can do those listings. Marketing always helps, and obviously good customer service. Not everyone's going to be happy. You can please some of the people some of the time, but not all the people all the time. So you need to make sure that you're able to take the good with the bad when you're selling. Pros is that it's good potential for passive income. There's low startup costs, as we covered before, but the cons are obviously you got to have storage place, and market trends fluctuate. So, I've done eBay selling for about 20 years, and I can tell you, as you look at things, toys may be hot one year and not the next year. So you really got to kind of find your niche and be in that area so you know your product and that you're offering the consistency. It's easier for people to know you as a seller of a certain item, whether that's vintage or auto parts, than it is for you to have a variety of hundreds of things out there and not being an expert in one field. Content creation. Now this one here is going to take a little more expertise, but these are platforms like YouTube, TikTok, where you can do podcasting, you can do vlogging, and these things are easily found because you can go to YouTube and see a lot of people that do this as a living. They make very, very good money, but the thing is you have to build your reputation and you have to build that clientele and those views in order to earn those incomes. You do need some skills. Obviously, you're going to have to be somewhat knowledgeable in how computerization works, how you're going to use your cameras, how you're going to use the computers and the microphones and things like that to get that set up. And there is going to be some investment cost to do that. Pros there gives you creative freedom and potential for passive income. So if you go to YouTube, you see a lot of people out there blogging on a lot of different topics. It could be political, it could be recipes, it could be anything that your heart desires. So it gives you a lot of creative freedom. Again, you need tough skin because you're going to have detractors that may not always agree with your ideas. So you're going to have to be able to understand that and let that pass. Cons, though, is that you need to be consistent. You need to take time to build an audience. So if you're going to be podcasting or blogging, obviously it's not something you can do today and do 6 months again or a year. You're going to need to be consistently doing it daily or weekly or on a schedule so that your viewer and your audience that's growing from that know when they can expect you to be out there with the next version of whatever it is that you're going to be blogging on. Then we talked about driving and delivery. Again, probably the most popular. Uber, Grubhub, Uber Eats, Lyft. These are all sites that are transportation based either for products or people. You can earn fairly good money on there, up to $25 an hour to $30 depending upon what it is. Again, it could be driven by time. So if you're delivering food, you're looking at breakfast, lunch, and dinner times that you want to be working. Amazon Flex and Walmart Spark are good programs because they allow you to work anytime you want. You're delivering packages, groceries. You know what you're going to earn per delivery at the time they post it, and they also have the tipping option so customers can leave you tips. So Those are good websites to check out if you want to do driving type of work. The pros, it's high demand, it's quick income. The cons are wear and tear on your vehicle, variable earnings, and I would also add to that, very high competition. A lot of people are doing this, so if you didn't get in the ground floor, it's going to take you some time to build up that reputation or those scores that these platforms use to make sure that you're getting offered a lot of opportunities for delivery. Online selling we talked about earlier, eBay, Etsy, pet care house sitting. We've got Rover and Care.com offers pet sitting, dog walking, house sitting. These are great gigs for people that have limited mobility, want to be outdoors, like pets. It's a good income. It may not always be consistent. Your prime times are going to be vacation times, or people with pets that don't want to take them to a doggy daycare type center. So pros, low stress, enjoyable work, especially if you're a pet lover. Cons is requires reliability and may involve travel. And when you're going to sit for somebody or take care of their dog, then they're going to expect you to be doing that. So you can't basically say, today I'm not going to do it. You're going to have to be consistent. So how do you get started? Well, first is to assess your skills and interests. Understand what you enjoy doing, because you're going to enjoy it a lot more if you're doing something you want to do than it is if you're doing something you don't want to do. So if you don't like driving or sitting behind a car, don't do a delivery job. If you don't like selling things and have to ship and go to the post office, don't do a Amazon or an eBay job. Research platforms. Know what's out there, know what's required, what you're going to need to do the job. Set realistic goals. So define the income and the time you're looking for, and realize that it takes you time to build these businesses up. If you're Walmart, Spark, and like I said, they use algorithms. So as you deliver and your scores and your reviews go up, you're going to be offered more opportunities for delivery jobs than you are if you're brand new. That's how they keep loyalty, and that's how they reward the people that are working for them. So the higher scores go, the more opportunities you're going to be offered by them. Amazon's the same way. Prepare and learn. Get training if you need it. If you need technology training, then find somebody that can offer you that, so you can understand how to use the cell phones, how to use a computer, how to use a camera, whatever it is that you're going to need to do the job. And spend the time to do that, because that's going to be your success at the end of the day if you understand how those things work. Alrighty, a little technical glitch there. And then
while there's a pause, Jeff, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
You know, we'll see if we can get that started. But for example, like the teaching ESL or the writing, how competitive are some of those things? And do you know, like, the process? Do you have to go through a company and they approve you, or can you just kind of put your name out there? What do you suggest is the best way to do?
Well, most of the websites are going to take some, when you're going to them, they're going to ask you certain questions. They're going to make sure that you're the right fit for them.
Okay.
So if you're going to go out there and teach English as a second language, they're going to do some assessments and make sure that you can do that job. Okay, because you're representing yourself, but you're also representing that platform. Okay. You could do it on your own, but obviously that's going to be a lot harder than going through a platform that's already existing.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have to build the clientele. You're going to have to find the ways to communicate that, market it out there, get your name out there, and get the customers coming to you. Whereas if you're using a platform, that's going to be a lot easier. You know, just like eBay, you could go out to Shopify and open your own store. But what you're going to be lacking there is you're going to be lacking the thousands of viewers that eBay gets every day looking for product, because they don't know you exist out there on Shopify. You're going to have to find a way to market that, and that's going to get involving how you get your keywords out on searches on Google. You're going to have to pay click fees and things like that so that your name comes up to the top. So it's going to be a lot more involved, a lot more investment time to do that than use a platform that already exists.
Those platforms that already exist typically take some percentage or cost you money as well, right?
Exactly. So
Okay.
you gotta figure that into your budgeting plan, right? So if you're gonna make $500 a month as your goal in your
Sure.
side gig, then you're gonna have to understand those fees so that you can apply that to what you're gonna have to earn in order to cover the costs.
Gotcha.
Okay. Like eBay, they charge varying fees depending upon categories and products and
Okay.
listings. You can buy a store, which will give you thousands of listings a month free. So that's a good way, but that's an investment. Do you have thousands of things to list? Maybe you don't, you're starting out. So it might be best to start with just doing that per sale percent. But once you get into it and you start looking at all the different aspects of how those platforms work, what they require, Amazon's good because there you take away the storage complexity of selling, because you can sell your product, but you can ship it to Amazon's warehouse and they'll do the shipping.
Oh.
Okay, so you don't have to worry about that aspect of the business. Now there's fees associated with that, so that's going to cost more, but at the end of the day, you have to weigh what you're selling. Okay, obviously that's not going to work for somebody that's just selling vintage goods or yard sale finds, because you're going to have a lot of different products you're trying to sell. But if you're selling books, or maybe you're selling a kitchen appliance or something in higher volume, then that makes sense. Send it to Amazon, let them do the shipping.
Okay. No, that's good. That's good advice. Thank you.
And then for our glitch, it was start small. Try it part-time, try it small. If you're gonna sell on eBay, pick a couple of things, see how well it moves. So you can play around with the platform and make sure you're optimizing the categories and things that you're selling. Look at other people who are selling similar things and see how their sales have been, because you can see that data in eBay. You can find somebody selling the exact same product or similar. Well, how fast does that sell? How many are they selling at a time? So you can understand what product. You can also get plugins for eBay and Amazon that will do analytics. It'll tell you what the fastest moving items are. So if you're looking to go out there and source product, you can use those services to say, okay, what's hot right now is silicone spatulas. And they're selling hot. So then you know, okay, let me source silicone spatulas somewhere to make money. Okay. Remember, those kind of platforms, though, there's the upside and there can be the downside. If today silicone spatulas are hot and tomorrow they're not, you may end up with a lot of silicone spatulas that you're now going to have to take markdowns on. So just like being a big box retailer, okay, you got to know your business and know the pros and cons. The other thing we talked about earlier is scams, okay, and we definitely want to be aware of scams. With the popularity of freelance side gigs, there's been a lot of scams that have come out of there. So if it sounds too good to be true, it always is. That's a principle we all should live with. But things you want to do is avoid upfront fees. If they're legitimate companies, they don't require payments. If you join Uber, you join Walmart Spark, you join eBay, they're not asking you to pay an initiation fee or some kind of membership fee up front. Check the reviews, look at reviews, see how other people that do them. And you should do this even on legitimate ones. What are other people saying about working for these side gigs, these hustles like Uber or Lyft? Are they happy with it? Are they disappointed? What's their pain points? So you can understand that and understand whether or not you can live with those pain points, or that's a killer for that particular issue or particular job you want to do. Make sure that they're using secure payment processing platforms like PayPal, or they're direct depositing the money to you. We don't want to do things where they say they hold the money and after you get to a certain level then you can cash it out. A lot of things right now, if you're on your phone, you'll see a lot of advertisements for games that you can play, and they'll say you can earn up to $300 an hour playing games on your phone. Those platforms, even though there is some cash opportunity there, when you get into learning the details about them, you have to reach a certain amount of money before you can cash it out. Some charge processing fees to cash that money out. Some are just outright scam, where you're really not earning the cash. So understand what these platforms offer you, and again, make sure you're getting a secure payment. And beware of fake job offers. So there's the thing we just talked about. If it's too good to be true, then it usually is. That should be a red flag. And that goes for whether you're doing a side gig or freelancing, or you're looking for a job through Indeed. You want to make sure that that posting is legitimate. The best way you can do that if you're applying for a job is to go to the company website and see if that job is actually posted there for applications and what they're paying on that site. I can tell you on Indeed, there are fake job postings out there, so you do want to be careful. But the same way with when you're going in, you're going to Amazon looking for side gigs, or Google, you're Googling that, and you're going to get something that comes up and says, hey, earn $1,000 per day stuffing envelopes. Okay, research that. Why would somebody pay $1,000 a day for you to stuff envelopes? There's machinery today. People aren't mailing things as much anymore. There's email. So you need to stop and think, is this legit? Why would somebody be paying somebody to do this work? It may be legit, okay, but do your research, follow up, reach out to the company, ask them questions. If they're hesitant to answer your questions, then move on. So final tips for success: stay consistent. Build a reliable income takes time. Again, you're doing Uber, you're doing Spark, you got to build up that reputation to move up that platform, to be getting more opportunities, more offers, and that's going to take time. Selling on eBay or Amazon or Etsy, you're putting your product out there. People need to find it, think about it, see it, so that's going to take time. So just understand that, and as you're planning, maybe the first month you're not going to make that $500 you need a month. Maybe you're only going to make 100. Then the next month maybe you're going to make 200. Eventually you'll reach that goal where it's consistently every month once you learn the process and what you're doing. Leverage your experience. Use your knowledge. Use your past career. Use your education to do the side gig, and find the hustle that's right for you. Network and learn. Networking is one of the most important things we can do today, regardless of anything else in the job market, in life, and same way with freelancing gig. Find people that are doing the same thing as you, talk to them, find out what they had to go through to get to where they are, so you don't make the same mistakes as they had to make. That way also helps build your network. They can teach you things, they can teach you the aspects of the job that maybe makes it easier to do or brings in more income. And then enjoy the process. Find something that you truly enjoy doing and do that, so that you never work a day in your life. You're enjoying what you're doing, you're adding that extra income, and you've got the flexibility that what a side gig has to offer. If you have questions, please feel free to reach out to us. My email address and information and my counterparts is up here. We're more than happy to talk to anybody that may have questions on getting started in a side gig or hustle. We do, as part of VR, we do help people do business plans. So we're more than happy to help you manage through those processes, become successful at what you're doing. We love to talk to people, so don't hesitate to reach out to us.